The other day I was bored and I figured it was time to go for another round 100. This time I wanted to get round 100 on a map that I'd never gone round 100 on before, so I thought about maybe going for 5 over Zetsuba no Shima, but then I remembered I've got unfinished beef with Gorod Krovi. About 5 years ago, I challenged myself to hit round 100 on every Black Ops 3 map, and GK was one of the last maps I needed. But for whatever reason, all my runs kept on ending the same way. I kept on getting the connection interrupted error. I'm still not sure why it was happening, but I will never forget the time I got the error on round 97. I was freaking 3 rounds off, man. It was brutal. After that, I honestly stopped playing Gorod Krovi for a while. It just felt like the map didn't want me to win. But you know what? I think it's time we finally run it back, dude. I want to get that round 100. After all the Gorod chaos, I went on to hit round 100 on a few other maps. But I always figured Gorod Krovi would be one of the more complicated maps because you have to use the shield. Like most of the time whenever I play BO3, I barely ever use the shield blast. I always keep the shield on my back, so having to actually use it for around 100 runs sounded insane to me. We'll get more into the shield strategy a little later on, but for now, we've got to start this run by completing the main Easter egg quest. Before going for the round 100 on this map, it's definitely worth completing the Easter egg because the reward gives you permanent perks. So when you go down, you do get to keep all your perks, but you lose Quick Revive. Then you can just rebuy Quick Revive from the perk machine or the Wonder Fizz. Essentially, you can have infinite revives and it's a huge advantage. It's always a blast playing Gorod Krovi. Seeing dragons on a zombies map is insane, and the fact you hatch a dragon egg and that becomes your specialist is sick. Like, dude, you use a baby dragon as a flamethrower. And of course, we can't forget about the Mark III. It has a very unique design, and even though it's not the best damage dealing wonder weapon, it's still insanely useful. Speaking of the ray gun, we actually got really lucky this game and I pulled it out of the first box. Getting the Mark III without moving the box is actually huge because that means we're not going to be getting any fire sales. Fire sales are great and all, but I feel like when you're going for high rounds, it's not really worth having them. And if you don't get fire sales in your game, you'll be getting the good drops more often. As soon as I could, I flew over to Pack-a-Punch and grabbed the egg to officially start the Easter egg. The first part of the egg is pretty straightforward. This is when I usually start buying some perks, and if by this time I don't have the Ray Gun Mark IIIs, I use this time to hit the box. Well, before I knew it, we were on to the trophy trials. These could honestly make or break the run, so I was really hoping to get one of the escort trials right off a rip, just to get it out of the way early. Those are the ones I mess up the most. But instead, we got the Gersh Orb. For like the first time ever in my life, I was able to find it pretty early, but like a dummy, I didn't Pack-a-Punch my Mark IIIs. And to be honest, I didn't even know you needed a Pack-a-Punch weapon to do this step. I thought I could maybe pat before I ran out of time, but there was no way that was happening. I don't even know why I tried. So I flipped around as fast as possible, and we safely got the orb to Dragon Command. Next up was the pod defense. This one's supposed to be free, but somehow my pod was getting absolutely cooked. Dude, it legit got so bad I thought I was gonna fail this part. We managed to successfully defend the pod, and we sent our baby D to retrieve the box. Next up was the Mangler Trophy, and this step is always rough. I feel like I fail it way more than I should, dude. I get like a 33% success rate on this part. Not only do I usually have a hard time finding the Mangler, but often, whenever I go to shoot off the arm, I'll just kill the Mangler. It happens too often, man. I know you're supposed to listen for a spawn sound to track him down, but somehow I always end up on the wrong side of the map. I kept checking everywhere, but it felt like I was searching forever, and honestly, I thought there was no chance I was going to be finding him on time. But things got kind of crazy when I was found by the Mangler. Bro came out of nowhere. He was tired of waiting for me to find him. I couldn't believe it. I did have a ton of zombies on me though from the round, so I quickly shot off the arm and went towards Dragon Command. For the bomb step, I like to just pause as soon as the locations show up, especially since I'm playing solo. It helps out a lot, but I can't imagine doing this with randoms, dude. Like, how does it even work? This step is insanely nerve-wracking though. I still double check every bomb even though I know I'm at the right bomb. I'm just scared to blow myself up. The last trophy we got was the drone, and because the spawns in the spawn room are always wild, I made sure to bring it in plain sight just in case. And honestly, I'm really glad I did because almost immediately I had to use it. I was hoping I'd be able to weasel my way through with just slowing down the zombies, but that did not work out. The only hard part is the beginning. Once you get past the stairs, you're pretty much good. Once I got to this point, I was pretty much done. I downloaded some stuff, gave Nikolai the battery, and it was time for the boss fight. This boss fight is pretty dang awesome. I mean, how often is it you fight 2 bosses and one's a dragon? Come on. I do just wish the fight was a bit longer because it is a little bit easy to kill the dragon. Hey, low-key, I'm still hoping to see another dragon boss fight. It'd be fire. Now, the Nikolai boss fight, that's a different story. You gotta straight up kill Nikolai as fast as possible, because if not, he will call in the raps, so I had to bring in the big guns. Or should I say, the big gums. I popped an in plain sight and started blasting him immediately. Even though I cheesed the boss fight, I almost sold. I didn't hit all the weak points fast enough, and I had to pop another in plain sight. Bro, this could've gone bad. After we claimed Nikolai's soul, it was time to finally go for the round 100. It's kinda crazy we had to do all this just to get started. When we got back to the normal map, I felt like we were still too early into the game to do anything with the shield, so instead I decided to camp with the Mark IIIs. I decided to camp in the armory for a couple of rounds because I remember hearing this has decent spawns, and around this time I started picking up weapons we'd need later on. I put Turned on the Vesper and Fireworks on the HVK. I'm not much of a Fireworks user on BO3, so I was kind of excited to use it here. So most of the time I just use Turned and Deadwire, or sometimes I'll use Blast Furnace too, but as we started getting closer to that round 50, I moved towards the shield area. At this point, the zombies were pretty fast already, and I wanted to use the Trap. The Trap can get you a ton of kills, and we ended up camping for quite a while, but after a bit, I started realizing the Mark IIIs just weren't keeping up anymore. Like, I'd make a black hole and a return zombie would kill more than the black hole. At this point, I pretty much stopped using the black holes and I switched to just using the yellow orb to slow the zombies down. That's all I really needed from the Mark III at this point. I mean, I knew that the damage wasn't the best. Or I guess it's just a black hole effect though, because the ray gun shots, I think, do kill if it's headshots. But it is kind of risky just using the ray gun shots, because when the zombies get too close to you, the Mark IIIs can insta-down you, and I didn't want to risk it. But anyway, it's shielding time. I'm not sure if I was doing it right, but I would start the round by letting a couple zombies in. Then I'd slow the zombies down with the Mark III, and I'd call in a turn zombie. While the turn zombie was doing his thing, I'd either shield blast if there was too many zombies, or I'd bash the zombies to weaken my shield. Shield bashing was really good because I had Widow's Wine, and when I would bash, it would web up the zombies so the zombie would be slowed down even more. You want to constantly rotate shields to get more shield blasts, so often I'd weaken my shield while everything was slowed down. I'd also make sure to buy the trap as often as possible for some easy kills. When you combine Turn with the left side of the ray gun, dude, it is amazing. The Turn zombie will kill so many zombies. I was really afraid I'd eventually mess up, but even whenever I did, I could easily recover by just slowing the zombies down again. I would sometimes use Fireworks, but I realized that the Shield Blast and Fireworks kind of had the same job, so often I'd just clear the room by Shield Blasting instead of using Fireworks. The only thing that'll really do a lot of damage to you is just the drones, and it's only because they go behind you. They're literally like mosquitoes. They're straight up just sit in the back zapping you. It's insane. I was so locked in trying not to mess up that by the time I looked at the round, I was on round 90. It's awesome, but also it was kind of concerning with how well everything was going. Like, this doesn't really go this smooth for me. I was getting into the rhythm of things, dude. I was switching weapons, shield bashing, blasting. I mean, I was in the zone. Low-key, I was expecting the game to end with some kind of error around this point, and that's why I actually didn't use the Baby D Specialist or the Dragon Strike. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but back in the day when I was getting those errors in my games, a friend of mine told me that the Specialist can sometimes cause issues, so I just avoided using it at all. It's unfortunate too, because it's probably my favorite specialist and I rarely use it. Near the end of round 94, I glanced at my ammo and my heart actually dropped. I was so close to the 100 I could smell it. I could not mess this up, dude. I was hoping to save a zombie so I could safely pack a punch, but like an idiot, I accidentally ended the round. I quickly ran to the Gobble machine in the hopes of getting an alchemical, and I got freaking stock option. Yo, I knew I was cooked after this. As sketchy as it was, I continued trying the strat out, but without using the Mark III, and it was insanely scuffed, dude. I felt like eventually I was just gonna get stuck down here, and honestly, I was barely even killing anything. It was gonna take me forever to even go through the round like this. I felt like I just had to go somewhere else. I felt like I definitely couldn't stay in here, and as I was leaving, hope was restored. It wasn't the Maximo we needed, but it was the Death Machine double points and Carpenter we deserved. So far, we had gotten 3 of the 4 drops, and I still had hope the last drop would be a max ammo. As soon as the Death Machine ended, I made my way towards the Dragon, and I flew to get Deadwire on my HVK. I couldn't teleport to Pack-a-Punch because I had the Mangler helmet on. I even checked the challenges, knowing full well I hadn't completed a single one, and I was got myself killed checking. I was really thinking where else I could like train using Deadwire or something. I mean, there's some spots that you could kind of train in, I guess, but you know, they aren't really safe. And I mean, this high into the round, I wasn't really sure where else to go, so I went back to the shield room. I was barely holding the train together, and out of nowhere, our luck came through, dude. We got the max ammo. I actually couldn't believe that, dude. It saved our run for sure. I was just so relieved that we were finally safe again. But anyway, after 6.5 hours, we finally got the round 100. It's insane we did it flawless, too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we did have all the perks, and Widow's Wine helped out tremendously, dude. We definitely gotta give a shout out to Widow's Wine. It was very awesome seeing the 100 on a new map, especially since it's been quite a minute since I last got around 100 on a new map. I think the last time I did it was like 2 years ago, I want to say, and it was on Horizon Drac. It's kind of funny, we're slowly knocking down these BO3 maps, even years apart. I mean, I started this challenge, like I said, about 5 years ago. We did Shadows pretty easily, the Giant wasn't too bad, and then it took me forever to do Horizon Drac. Then we knocked out Gorod Krovi just now. Revelations is pretty easy, obviously, and then now we're just missing Zetsubo, so we're slowly knocking these out. It's always kind of awkward for me whenever I get to 100, because I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just quit, like, should I just quit and, you know, end the game that I just spent so long practicing for? This time I decided to just keep playing just to see how far I could go. And of course, the connection interrupted curse strikes again. It's like the end of a horror movie. The characters think they survived, they think they've won, and then the camera pans to the monster still being alive. It's a sick world we live in, man. But hey, round 105 is still a pretty awesome number. I'm not complaining at all. But if you guys want to see the full uncut gameplay of this round 105 run, I'll have it linked down below in the pinned comment. Definitely check it out if you guys want to see the full setup and everything. It is on the second channel. It's a no commentary channel, so it's just going to be pure gameplay. And if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe over there. That's usually where I post high rounds and stuff. But also, if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe here. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Looking back at this entire run, it's insane that the shield is this good. The shield is essentially the wonder weapon of the map. I don't know which round 100 I'll go for next, but I'll probably stream it next time, so definitely subscribe. Look out for that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, dude. Have a good one. Peace out, dudes. Peace out. Peace, 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 and peace.